This is the second part of the video on percentages. If you have not watched my first video, it covers problems 1 through 7. So we're going to jump right back in and try to finish this up. Number 8, use the basic proportion. Okay, they have reminded you of the proportion. The percent always goes over 100, and then that is equal to the A, which stands for amount, and B is base. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Now, just as a reminder, 100 is written this, that's how you write 100. And since it has 2 zeros, 100th means 2 decimal places. So we'll go 2 decimal places here, okay? All right, 100% of blank is 51. Okay, well, this is kind of a weird one, but we always put our percentage over 100. Okay, that looks suspicious, but we'll keep moving. Of what number is 51? Okay, so we're looking for the base. Okay, 51 is a part of some number, and we don't know that number. Our base is going to be X. Now, I'll be honest, this is kind of a wacky problem. You probably know what 100% of something is already, but you would cross multiply, so 100 times X, and then 100 times 51, and then you'll divide both sides by, let's write that down. So 100 times X is 100X, 100 times 51 is 5100, and then you'll divide both sides by 100. I'm going to stop there on that problem. Number 9. 150%. Okay, our percentage always goes over 100. Of what number is 84? So 84 is our is number. We're looking for the whole part. 84 is part of what base? Okay, now another way to think of this is our is number. 84 is part of what? Oh my, ignore that E. I don't know why I put that there. What base? And once again, to solve this is a proportion. We're going to cross multiply. Okay, so we'll set it up. 150 times X is 150 times X. 84 times 100 is 8400. And we'll divide both sides by 150. Okay, number 10. This time we're trying to find our percent. We do not know our percent. Our percent is a big old question mark. So we'll put X where our percent goes. The percent is always over 100. Sorry, my timer just went off. And then of 52 is 78. Now this one's a little bit more confusing. The is number is 78. So 78 goes on top. And the of number is 52, okay? So this is our of, and this is our is. And so 52 goes on the bottom. Now, if we go back, Hawks likes to use this formula, percent over 100 equals A over B. A is always your is number, and B is always your of. So it's is over of equals percent over 100. That's another way to write that formula. We talked about this on the first video. But once again, to solve this, you will cross multiply. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to keep going because I only have 15 minutes per video with this recording that I use. And so you can solve it for yourself. Okay, this one is almost exactly the same. So we don't know what the percent is. Our percent goes over 100. Our is number is 12. Okay, this is our is number and it goes on top. Our of number is 36. So it goes on the bottom. The amount is 12 and the base, those are the terms that Hawks likes to use, is 36. So is the amount and of is the base. Okay. All right, let's move over to number 13. Sorry, 12. I'm going to let you work on that one yourself. I'm going to get to these word problems. This is really the crux of percentages, what we're getting ready to start. This is one of my favorite things. And it's a real world application of percentages. We use percentages in our daily life all the time, but this is just an example. Suppose that in 1994, England produced blah, blah million pounds of wheat. The total world production that year totaled 72 million pounds of wheat. What percent of the world's total population of pounds is wheat contributed by England? Okay, this is very confusing, but first of all, this number right here is called a distractor. That has nothing to do with setting up my formula. I'm going to use percent over 100 equals A over B. Okay, 1994, it just happens to be a random outlier, distractor. Okay, so we have two numbers, 11.429 million and 72 million. Okay, A is the amount, and it is always part of the base. And B is your base, and it's the whole value. I'm trying to use the same terms that Hawks uses. So it's the whole value. Okay, we don't know the percent of wheat, so we put an X on the top, and that always goes over 100. We have to decide which number goes on the top and which number goes on the bottom. 11.429 is part of the wheat. It is the amount produced in England, only in England. So that number is going to go on the top. 11.429 is on the top, and the base is our whole wheat production. So in the whole world, 72 million pounds of wheat are produced. Now, notice that these are both in millions. So 11.429 million and 72 million. Since the units are the same, we can just leave it as is, and our answer will be in, well, we'll have a percent, but they are the same unit. So we're going to cross multiply here, okay? And then we're going to divide by 72. So let's see, 72 times X is 72X. 11.429 times 100, that's going to move my decimal place over 2 to the right, so it'll be 1,142.9 million. We divide both sides by 72, and we get X equals, it says round to the nearest tenth. Now remember, tenth looks like this. Since we only have 1 0, we're going to go 1 decimal place. Let me put this in my calculator. 1,142.9 divided by 72. It is, okay, here's the final number, or the large number, is 15.8736, and then it continues. Okay, let's review rounding really quick. If it says round to the nearest tenth, that means 1 decimal place. But what we do is we look back at this number, and since it's above 5, we're going to round up. So this will be 15.9. And remember, here's my timer again. We're looking for a percentage. So the answer there is 15.9. Let me pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, I apologize. I am back. Let's keep going. Number 14. 2 people dined at La Fiesta Mexican Grill. I love this. I love Mexican food. I love to eat out. I love food. The cost of the food was $35.62. To add to that, a tax of $4.15 was added. What is the percent of this tax? Okay, so we're looking for a percentage here, just like we were in the previous example. So we're going to use our formula. The percent goes over 100, and then we have the amount on top and the base on the bottom. All right, we don't know our percent, so we put an X there. And what is really tricky and what students struggle with here is deciding which number goes on the top, which is your amount and which is your base. The amount is part of whatever the situation is. So in this particular problem, that tax was part of the bill. Okay, it wasn't the whole bill, but it is an amount that is included in the bill. So $4.15 is the amount of the tax, and then the bottom number is your base. The base bill, or the cost of the base meal is $35.62. I need to put my glasses on. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. Once again, this is how you solve your proportion problems. Cross multiply. Okay. Multiplying by 100 here, let's see, 35.62 times X is 35.62X. This will be 415. We divide by 35.62 because we're solving for x. 35.62. And x equals, all right, how does it tell us to round? It tells us to round once again to the nearest tenth. That's 1 decimal place. So we'll put 415 divided by 35.62, and I'm getting 11.6507. Okay, remember for rounding, if it's to the nearest tenth, that is 1 decimal place, but we actually look back at this number to decide what to do. And since it's 5 or above, we're going to give it a shove. We're going to shove that up, and the answer will be 11.7%. Okay. Okay. Number 15. I love number 15. Basketball is my favorite sport. Both my kids play basketball. My son was really competitive in his basketball experience. My daughter's still young, just in high school, but I love basketball. I always have. I went to Carolina, and we're known for basketball, Michael Jordan. Okay, in one season, a basketball player missed 20% of her free throws, and that is very, very, very important. Okay, how many free throws did she attempt if she made 128? Now, this one is very confusing. We're still going to use our formula. Percent over 100 equals amount over the base. Okay, now, here's where things get interesting. She made 120. Okay, she missed 20%. But if we're going to describe this in terms of how many she made, then we need to know what percent is this a female or a male? It's a she, okay? What percent did she make? The reason that we have to be comparing the same things. So the percent that she makes has to correspond to the number of free throws that she made, whereas the number that she missed would correspond to how many she missed, but we don't know that, so we can't use that particular thing. Now, if she missed 100%, okay, let's think about this. We know percentages are out of 100. I think I just said 100. I meant 20. Okay, so 100% would be a perfect, free throw record. This girl missed 20% of her free throws. So that means she made 80% of her free throws. This is how many she made. And that is going to correspond to this number right here. So we have to use 80%, not 20%. Why did I not use 20%? Because 20% is how many free throws she missed. And the number that we're given, 128, is how many free throws she made. So we have to be using the same descriptor. So we don't know the percent. Well, I'm sorry, we do. It's 80%. She made 80% of her free throws, and our percent always goes over 100. Okay, A is your amount or part of the whole, part of the base. She made 128. That's the amount that she made, which again corresponds to 80%. We don't know how many free throws she shot, so we're trying to figure out what the base is. How many free throws did the girl have in total? And that will be our base. Okay, so we will cross multiply here. 80 times x and 100 times 128. So that's going to be 80x equals 12800. Divide both sides by 80. Now we're talking about free throws here. So if I was a gambling person, which I'm not, but if I were, I'm probably going to get an integer here because I can't have half of a free throw. So let's see what we get. 12,800 divided by 80 is 160. So this girl attempted 160 total free throws. That's how many she attempted. All right, the answers are at the bottom of the worksheet. So if you'll check over that, make sure that you're getting the correct answers as you practice this worksheet for yourself. Okay, thank you.